Hi everybody, good evening and welcome to the Lincoln Property and Mortgage Show. As always with me, Mike Hollenby, and also joined as always by Jenny Holt. So thanks again for watching the show. We've had a lot of interesting feedback, particularly over the last 3 or 4 weeks with the subjects that we've been covering, Jenny. Very sensitive, very time sensitive and appropriate. And this week you've come up with another classic. So what we'll do is we'll roll the credits and then we'll jump straight in and Jenny can explain what this show's all about this week. So Jenny,
hi there, guys. Oh, thank you, Mike. So, as Mike said, this has come up as I'm having lots of different conversations with my clients, especially clients that are based here in Lincoln. And what the kind of conversations they're having are, I'm not getting many viewings, or the viewings that I am getting, if I am getting the offers, we're not really getting the level of offer that we were expecting. So it's just kind of understanding why that might be and what you can do as a seller to try to boost those viewings and boost those mortgages. So the value, the offers that are going to come through for your home. And we've got the perfect person here, Mike, to help us talk through all of that. We're going to try and keep it really practical advice to you guys. So it's something that you can actually do or ask your agents to do if they're not doing it, to try and really surge those offers on and surge those viewings for you. So Mike, if you was in that situation, what's the first thing that you would be doing?
Okay, so great topic, and I really hope that today helps anybody watching. So I'm going to go down 2 routes with this, Jenny, because the frustration comes, I think, in one of 2 ways. The first thing is if you are new on the market. So you've had all your agents around, you've decided to make the plunge, you've got your property on the market, you've done all the horrible paperwork, you've had all your photos done. Right, we're going to the market, let's go. You go on Rightmove and you're expecting the phone to ring off the hook. After several days, you've still not had any viewings, no contact from the estate agent, but you've looked on Rightmove and it's on there and it all looks fine. But if after a week or 2, you still haven't had contact from your agent and you haven't had that sort of surge of viewings, there's a natural reaction to feel really deflated at this point, because you've come to the market with all this enthusiasm with an expectation that there are going to be viewings straight away. Now, in an ideal world, that will happen, but just to manage people's expectations very quickly is how marketing works in the background when you launch a property as well. So a couple of things. The first thing is obviously the agent's prepared everything and will bring it straight to the market, but there are key things that you need to have in place. The first thing is a really good lead introduction photo, okay? So photographs should be taken on a 30-degree angle, so there's not looking one-dimensional, okay? So it's on a bit of an angle, gives a bit more depth to the property. Second thing, cars. Do not have your car on the driveway blocking the front vision of it, okay? So clear your driveway and clear your bins and anything else that you think will be a bit of an obstruction, or I'm not saying an eyesore, but something that will draw the attention away from the property from your front photo, okay? So that's the first basic. Make sure your front photo is good. Your next 2 photographs are also really important. If you go for 3 photos, so you may want on your next 2, that's what photographs will show if you're looking at the property details on a laptop or computer. 9 times out of 10 people are looking at details on a mobile phone, and it will show the first 2 photos, okay? So the first 3 photos are really important. Now, if you've got the front photo and then the second photograph is an entrance hall and the third photograph is a downstairs toilet, because the agent's doing it as a tour around the property, your 3 photographs, 2 of them you've just wasted. Yeah. You want the best 3 photographs possible as your lead photos, and it doesn't have to be the front of your property as your lead photo either. If you've got a fantastic view, panoramic view, or a beautiful garden, or you've got an incredible kitchen, make that your first lead photo. Okay. So I would go something like a kitchen and a bathroom, or a kitchen and a garden, or a kitchen and a lounge. Everybody's intrigued to know what people's kitchens look like when they're looking at details. Okay, so first 3 photos really clear, nice, and again we've talked again about declutterizing, etc. Even in last week's show, first 3 photos are important. The next thing is your lead description and your your short summary, which again you'll see described on, I say, Rightmove and Zoopla. It's the bits that you know when you first see the photo and then the short description. Some agents write War and Peace in there, but you only see the first few paragraphs of it, and you have to click on it to read all the details. That summary needs to get the viewer's attention. Okay. Now there's a marketing phrase in here. This is where the knowledge in the background all comes in. A good agent will use a structure known as AIDA. Right now, AIDA is used by all marketing companies to help sell their products, and it stands for attention, interest, desire, and action. And anybody who's worked with me over the last 30 years will be sick to death of me talking about AIDA because it's so important, because it works. So the next time you are watching TV and the adverts come on, just look and see the structure of those TV adverts. There's always a headline to get your attention. Then it will hold your interest, telling you a little bit more about it and the benefit to you. Then there's a desire of, oh yeah, I want one of those. And then there's a call to action. How do you do it? Go online, visit the website, go to store, buy now, go on Amazon, whatever. And whatever that product is, they follow the same process. It's the same with radio advertising, with property marketing. So what I mean by that is I was in a property last night. I was still doing valuations at 9 o'clock last night, Jenny. And we talked about how do you attract interest on their property. And I talk a lot about, I take my clients to the A&E department and they go, what do you mean by that? A&E stands for attention and exposure. The agency that I operate with myself with the XP, my key differential is I will be able to create more attention and exposure than every other agent by using some of these key principles. Okay. But I share them with everybody because the aim is to help people move. So AIDA, first description. Normally you will see a write-up saying, blah, blah, blah estate agents are proud to present this modern 3-bedroom detached property with gas central heating and double glazing and accommodation briefly comprising of...
Yeah.
Boring, yeah? But we've all read them, okay? And why is it that every estate agent has to put every room with a capital letter on it?
I've never noticed that, but I'm going to go and have a look now.
When you look at details, there was a kitchen with a capital K, lounge with a capital L, sitting room with a capital S. Why? Okay, use proper language. So I'll give you an example. If you are near, let's say, Hartsome Park, okay, why not have a head in, a walk in the park, take a stroll with me, lakeside wonder, waterside wonder, let's feed the ducks. Something different. Yeah. It's got your attention, yeah? Fantastic position near Hartsome Country Park for your country walks or your downtime at the weekend. Sit and relax and enjoy blah, blah, blah. Or walk and relax or take the dog for a walk or walk to work. Something like that creates a sense of a lifestyle, and that creates the interest because they're going to look and they go, oh, what do you mean by a walk in the park or park life? Oh, right. Oh, so you mean I've got my attention now. Okay. You're holding my interest on the property. The next part of it needs to hold that desire. Oh, that sort of sounds like the sort of location and property that I would like to live in. Yeah. Then the action bit is call for more details, click through to see the photos, look at the video tour, look at the Matterport floor plan that we've done. So you're telling them what you want to do rather than them having to click through and look at a big essay about the details of the property. Okay, that's coming next in your full details. So that's what I would say is if you've just come to the market and you're being frustrated, take a critical view of how it's been launched. Good photos, good 3 main photos, the bullet points, make sure they've used the maximum of the 10 bullet points they can use. And again, a really good short summary. And then also the main description. Let's just make it sound nice as opposed to just a list of the rooms and the room measurements, okay? Yeah. So that's the first thing I'd say if you've just gone to the market is to say if after a few weeks or even days, actually, once you come on the market, it is frustrating if you haven't had your viewing. The other basics are things like make sure your board's up and also have a look at the agent's social media launch as well, okay? Because agents use social media a lot more now to launch it onto their Facebook page, Twitter, Instagram, all those sorts of things. So take a view of what they've launched on those platforms, if they've even launched them, okay? Again, another quick example. Went out to a property the other week on Mount Street, and I did a live launch, stood out the front of it, switched the camera on the phone, stood outside of it, wobbly hand. Hi there, it's Mike here. If you're looking for a peer property on this residential location, which very rarely come on the market. This could be what you're looking for. Quick description. If you don't want any more information before it goes live on the portals, get in touch with me. That went live at about 7:30 at night. When I finished the valuation, I had an inquiry through at 10:30 that night to book a viewing.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's gone nowhere else. It's not on Rightmove. It's not on a website. It's not even on my database yet. It's on social media, and social media is really important because people will tag. Now, off the back of that, I did an open day last weekend, and the person who made the inquiry that night viewed it, and somebody else who watched my live post saw it on social media and tagged somebody else, and that person has done a second viewing on it this week. Okay.
Amazing. I think you're right. Social media is such a big thing. And I see, so many people saying, oh, my house is up for sale, share. But you can share for the love, you can just share massively. But if they haven't caught someone in that 3 seconds, then it doesn't matter how many people you share to, you've got to grab their attention. And I had a client who I messaged to see how it was all going and everything. She said, Jennifer, I had a viewing in 6 weeks. She said, and I said, right, look, I'm not being funny. The front photo that you have is the same as every photo and every property in that area. There's nothing there that is grabbing me. So if I've already been to that area and I've looked at 1 or 2 houses there, there's nothing that's going to drag me to look at your house. Yet their kitchen, stunning.
Yeah.
Absolutely beautiful. I said, that should be your first photo. Let's grab their attention. It doesn't really matter where you are, because they don't know that at the moment. Let's just grab their attention and get them looking at your home.
Yeah. So things like your kitchen again, if that's your selling point, too many cooks, ? Blah, blah, blah. Are you looking for a bigger kitchen? Then this property could be the answer. It could be anything. Bespoke kitchen, extended kitchen. If that's your key thing, get that into your description and get your photographs. Certainly, if not your first one of those 3. Yeah. We're going to move on from that then, Jenny, and talk about people who've been on the market, like you just said there, for maybe 6, 7, 8 weeks, even 3, 4 months. It's the same basics, essentially, of what we've just discussed, okay? And like you just said there, critically look at the details that the agent's marketing. Now, we've talked about this in previous shows, is that if you're still using the same front photo and the same order of all the other photos and the same bullet points and the same summary and the same description, you're going to get the same result, guys. Yeah. If you want to sell your home for the best price, you need to sell it in the shortest possible time. Fact. The longer your property sits on the market for, the eventual lower the figure that you get on the table and end up accepting. Okay. And what tends to happen is you end up taking a lower offer. You try negotiating on the one that you want to buy that's lower because that's been on the market. But somewhere in that chain, somebody's just come to the market and isn't going to want to bring their price down. Yeah. So it's really important that you have a plan with your estate agent when you first come on the market, that you review it after 14 days, 28 days, and if need be, 90 days. Yeah. Because a valuer will come round, put it on the market, list it. It will then go to a sales team, but you need somebody reviewing that marketing to find out what's happening. Okay. And that's where a lot of the agents have changed their dynamics recently with their support for the home sellers. But I think it's really important that you have a plan on day one and market. Again, my clients have a marketing and media plan structure on what we're doing, and we monitor it weekly. Okay. Yeah. But that's the other thing is if your agent is keeping in contact with you on a regular basis, you'll be able to talk about this on a weekly, fortnightly, monthly basis. Okay. It's unlikely an agent's going to ring you every week. Let's be honest. Okay. But there should be a touch point every 14 to 28 days with that agent to review the activity, the interest, who they've sent it out to, etc. So let's look at this again. You've been on the market again, let's say 6 weeks. By now, we should have got a pretty good idea of the levels of interest that you're getting. Ask for the agent to give you their Rightmove statistical report. Okay. Now, every agent who advertises on Zoopla and Rightmove, there's on the market as well, but they're the main 2. The agent will have information in their back office to go into what's called Rightmove Plus, and they will be able to give you all the information about the statistics of viewings on your home. And it will produce each week a little chart, and it will show you day by day how many viewings you're having on your property. I bet as a homeowner, you didn't know your estate agent can offer that for you. Okay, you just take it assumptive that it's on the market and there's information coming through. Okay, ask for that report. And that's really important because you'll be able to see on a day-by-day basis the level of inquiries. You'll also see that when it was first launched, it went and then it will drop down, but it should plateau. Okay. When it starts plateauing, this is where you start changing your photos and your description, etc., and it pushes it back up again. Then it will level out and go down. And you do the same again. And there's a trait that you can follow week by week to make those decisions on what you need to do. So that's a big tip. Talk to your estate agent and ask for that report. They'll email it to you. It's dead straightforward. On that report, you'll also see how your property is performing. And say it does this, but you'll also see how your competitive similar properties are performing. And the key thing is to make sure that yours is outperforming every other similar property. Okay. That's really important, because if everybody else is getting more interest than you, something is going really wrong, because your price isn't right, your photos aren't right. Everybody's looking at everything else and not yours. But data is so important. And by having that report, you'll be able to see what's happening. Okay. Then you can start to think about changing that front lead photo, even getting the agent to use a little drone nowadays or on a telescopic pole. If you take an elevated photograph from 30-degree angle, it really makes a massive impact from that front photo. So just something simple like that. Most agents now have drones, or they have the ability for that to be outsourced to get it done. But I come back to front photo, next 2 lead photos, description and summary. If you've used the same one for that first 6 weeks, get it changed, because you can then relaunch it back into the same marketplace. Okay. Yeah. I touched on about expectations when properties first come on the market as well. Using those peaks and troughs and using things that the algorithms use in the background for websites, Google's, Pixels, all the technology and data that agents use that we don't bore home sellers with. What tends to happen in that is that it takes a bit of time for the algorithms to start working in. And then that way, details will start dropping into your social media. But also, this is where your Rightmove alerts will come in. So again, if you're a home seller, you've probably set up a Rightmove or a Zoopla alert. So if something comes on the market, you're notified about it. That doesn't happen necessarily instantly. It can be several days after the properties come on the market. So I always manage people's expectations that it can take between 7 and 10 days to maximize that exposure. Okay. So yeah, I should have put that in the beginning maybe. So 6 weeks on, I'm like a rabbit and waffle a bit. So they're the things: change your photos, description, bullet points again, and relaunch it. Okay. Now, if you've got your data and your statistics and you're still not getting viewings, or the interest has flagged right off, you're going to have a conversation about price. Shall we have that conversation now?
So for me, Mike, I think sometimes I'm going to be careful how I put this, because I'm saying it with love, that some people hear a figure in their head that maybe isn't realistic with some estate agents, and they're all guns blazing for that figure. And actually, the only reason they've gone with that agent is because they said a figure that they felt more attracted to, whether that was a figure on the actual price or a figure on what they were being charged. And I think sometimes that can then, you've almost set yourself up for a fall from the very off, because it's overpriced, but you went with it because you like the sound of that figure. What's your thoughts on that? So
really sensitive. Actually, that's why shall we talk about it? But you've got to talk about the elephant in the room. If you're not getting any interest, but what I'd always say is, before you talk about price, look at your data, look at your stats, because evidence will guide you on what you need to do next. Okay. So an agent will often give a bit of a guide on, well, we think it's between this and this, because it's never an exact science. Okay. It's worth what someone is prepared to pay for it. But pricing is paramount. That if you'd tried a little bit ambitiously to start off with, to test the market, which sometimes is the right thing to do, if you can get 5, 10, 15 grand more than you first anticipated, then great. The other thing to do before you change your price is go on Rightmove and put your postcode in and do a price variance, 25 grand above and 25 grand below. Okay. And then have a look and see how many other properties are also in the market with you, in competition directly with you. Yeah. Then look at how those properties are being marketed. So are the photographs good? Are the details better, etc.? Are they seemingly getting more interest on their property than yours? So you can see where you sit in your local pinpoint marketplace, yeah, within a 3 mile radius, because that's what your buyer's doing. Okay. You've got to go on the same journey as them. The other thing to do is then look at that number of stock there's a little button when you do your search, it will say include STC or sold properties. Make sure you click that button. Yeah, another top tip. Then it will give you a number of all the properties that are on the market and those sold. And you'll be able to work out what percentage of properties within that £50,000 price bracket are selling. Now, if it's only 5, 10, 15%, that's still quite low. But if it's almost sort of 40, 50% is selling and yours is still sitting in there sold and you're not getting viewings, it's going to be price, because your data is telling you, well, people are buying properties in this price bracket. It's not just you. And, you know, it's looking at what the market trends are. So that's the other thing that I'd have a look at. Then talk to your estate agent and get some advice, okay? Because if you're going to do a price change or a price amendment, I don't like price reduction phrase, a price amendment or adjustment, you need to be asking the agent, what are you now going to do to relaunch my property, rather than just seeing it on the property portals reduced. Yeah, got to have a plan in place to relaunch it like you did at the beginning, but do it better this time round. Because if all you do is just change the price again, the only thing you've changed is the price of nothing else. Yeah. So that's the thing I would say next. Again, get the data, have a look and see what else is available, see what else is selling, see how many other properties have also reduced recently. Because again, when you go on that report, it will tell you how many properties have reduced, and you can see if that market has been a bit ambitious and everybody's had to come down. Because it could well be, if 10 properties went on the market, 3 of them have sold, even as 7, 3 have reduced down and 4 haven't. You're in the sort of minority now, and your competition is making actions and you're not. Yeah. So that's my thoughts on price. Also on pricing, you need a minimum of 2% of your original asking price of what you're marketing at now for it to show on the property portals as a reduction.
Right. Okay.
There's a little tip there for you.
And would you want to show that? I guess you would. You'd want to show it as a reduction down.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
And to be fair, the portals don't give you any sort of say in that. They'll market it with reduced on it. Don't see a reduction as a negative thing. It's a positive step in the marketplace. You're showing that you're motivated. Put it on there, motivated to move. The homeowner of this property is now keener than before to secure a buyer. They've maybe found a property, or the circumstances have changed, or the school terms are about to start in August and they're keen to find. So we've made a price reflection to adjust the marketplace to attract more interest. Now's your time to grab yourself a bargain. So it's seeing it as a positive thing, not that, we've had to reduce the price down. Also, buyers' perception though is, they've reduced it down. They've reduced it down. Yeah. This leads on to your conversation earlier, Jenny, about them putting offers in.
Yes.
So any questions on that we've discussed there, Jenny, before we talk about offers?
No, I just would say that you're absolutely right. As soon as I obviously look at lots of properties a day, people send me through their Rightmove links, their Zoopla links to see what I think of their property, and if there's anything they should be aware of. And the one thing I see is well-presented modern home. Yeah. And I just think that tells me nothing really. About the property. So I think you're right, that first bit of description, and then all I do is click and look how many rooms it's got, if there's anything browsing that I should be aware of in that property, such as flat roofs and things like that. So I think you're right, the description is key in what you're looking at there. And like you say,
it's interesting you said about that, because you mentioned about the details. People don't want to read long drawn out details that you've got, the fact you've got a roll edge worktop with matching cupboards and drawers below with an inset 1.5 bowl sink unit, plumbing for a washing machine. You can tell I've done this for decades. It's what we've always done. Okay. Tell a story about why the owners live there, what they've enjoyed about it. My 3 questions that I ask every homeowner when I go to is, what made you buy this one over everything else when you were looking to buy and you bought this? What have you done to the property since you've been here that I need to tell everybody about? And what are you going to miss most about it when you move? Put that in your description. It's a great way of getting interest. It engages people and they want to ask questions about it. Yeah?
Yeah, it opens up those conversations as well, doesn't it? And like we've said on so many occasions, it's about people being able to see themselves living in that home, cooking in the kitchen, kids out in the garden and things. And on photos you can see that, but if you've got the wrong photo to start with and then you've got an essay you've got to get through, you've switched off naturally before you've even got to appreciate some of the finer points, I guess.
I'm pleased you mentioned that. There's 2 more little tips here for you as well. Floor plans. Must make sure you've got a floor plan. Every buyer wants to see a floor plan. Okay. I would probably say now that 90-95% of properties have got a floor plan on them. It's just standard now in agency, but you must have a floor plan. Okay. The next thing is video. Now, there's a lot of agents that are really scared about doing video, especially presenter-led video. As you know, Jenny, I'm very, very shy. I don't do these very often.
Yeah, absolutely. Shy away from it every opportunity.
But there are ways that you can do, even if it's, I've seen these where an agent will just walk around on a stand and will just take a walk round of the actual property. That's better than nothing. Use that. Post that out. Get it visual in front of people, because then people can really see the flow of the property and the size of the rooms and where the sofas are, and it's not staged, it's not on a wide angle lens.
Yeah.
Video is really important. Presenter-led videos are brilliant because you can really tell the story of the property and the benefits, and also as an agent, what you love about the property. Because if you like it, the chances are somebody else is going to like it. Yeah,
that's it.
So floor plan and video. Right, offers.
Okay, here we go.
Interesting one, this. I'll tell you now, your buyer will be putting you in an offer that you are not expecting and that you're not going to be happy with on the initial stage. Fact.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Offers are coming in low because buyers are still seeing it as a buyer's market, and they're still seeing it at where prices were coming out of COVID and that year after. So COVID was a bumpy year, the year after that. Last year was a horrible marketplace. Nobody was buying, nothing was really moving in the scheme of things in comparison to previous years. But we're back to where we were 2018, 2019 in the numbers for the first quarter, which means there are good properties coming on the market. There are buyers coming back in the market, but buyers still see it that they will be putting in an offer because they think they're holding all the cards. Okay?
Yeah.
Fact. An agent needs to be able to work as close as they can with the home seller and the buyer and getting that relationship right to justify, validate, explain, show research, show knowledge, show experience, and a little bit of leadership to try and then get the outcome that the home seller needs to achieve. An agent are usually paid on a percentage of the fee, so it's in their interests to get the best price. However, a percentage of £10,000. So if an agent is 1.25%, 1.5%, between 1 and 1.5%, okay. For every £10,000 that you're having to come down on the offer, the agent isn't actually losing out on that much money in their back pocket. Okay, so it's not going to be the deciding factor. It's about making sure that that agent demonstrates that they're working as hard as they can because they are instructed on behalf of the home seller to get the best price. Yeah, in fact, that's their client. But the agent has to have a skill of working with the buyer because they're a little bit in the driving seat in regard to making sure that they're sensible with their offer, educating to try and get the best offer.
Yeah.
And then it gets to the point where the really hard negotiations come in. And again, as a home seller, I would advise that you're speaking to somebody that's got experience in the estate agency office. If you're not getting the offer and you're not getting the negotiation that you're looking for, don't lose that buyer, because if they go away, they're going to go and buy something else for somebody else. Okay. When you've got them, you need to maximize that offer opportunity. If need be, go to the estate agent's office, get them to come round to you, do it face to face. Let's personalize this stage as opposed to order taking that we've talked about before, again, over the phones, backwards and forwards. You've got to work really, really hard at the moment, and it's not necessarily going to come in overnight with an offer comes in, everybody's happy, it's all accepted, you instruct solicitors. I genuinely can't remember the last time that even I had an offer where it was as straightforward as that. Okay, it can take several days sometimes to negotiate the right outcome. So you just got to work harder. If you are lucky where you get a sensible offer and it's a good offer and you're happy with it, fantastic. Next thing to do is just instruct solicitors quickly so that the buyer has confidence that you're serious. Don't have conversations saying, well, if we get this figure, though, we're still going to keep it on the market. How would your buyer feel, and how would you feel if you were buying on with it? The client says, yeah, I'm happy with that, but actually I'm going to keep it available in case somebody else comes along. You just can't do that in the market now. You've got to secure that up with a time scale and an offer that everybody's unhappy with, and then all go on the same journey together.
Yeah.
Last thing I'm going to point out here, Jen, is the same. We've talked about this sliding scale, and I think you spoke about it a couple of weeks ago with your mortgage applications. Is if you're getting an offer that's just a few grand less than what you're ideally looking for, look at overall cost of how many more mortgage payments you're going to have to pay out. If you lose that buyer and you end up staying where you are, the difference between that and making the onward purchase. Okay.
Yeah.
The next thing is if you then find a property that you're interested in, you're in a similar position of where that buyer was, that you're going to want to try and get the best outcome for that one that you're buying next time. Don't be greedy and try and get the best offer that you can on yours and then trying to get somebody else to negotiate right down as well. You've got to be fair, okay? So it's just being sensible. But again, sometimes if you've had to come down a bit and you get the one down that you're after for, the figures all balance out again, as we've said. So I just think negotiation is very personalized. It's got to be data driven. Mm-hmm. It's got to be in agreement with everybody. But when you set those terms out, get it written down, agree everything, and then all go on the same journey.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, the key thing is solicitors. Look, when you put an offer in, they want to see that you've got proof of your deposit. They want to see proof of your mortgage. So your AIP, decision in principle, whatever you want to call it, solicitors and your ID. So when you're putting those offers in, be prepared with all of that information, because that will help you secure a mortgage offer. And what it will also do, like you say, it gives the home sellers the confidence that you are serious about buying this. You've done the work to get to that point, and it holds your offer more tightly, I think. So I think that's really important.
Okay. We've actually covered a lot then. I know that was a lot of very one-sided on the estate agency side, but ultimately, Jen, is if the home sellers don't get that bit right, your side of the business then putting that in place, business. So, and you're right, there's a lot better properties coming on the market at the moment. There's a lot more properties coming on the market, so it is more competitive. So I just think in summary, everybody's got to be realistic and being understanding that you're all on the same journey. So just work with each other. Yeah.
Definitely. I think that's key. I think that's a really good point. I think, it is a business transaction to an extent, but it's not really. It's an emotional one as much as anything. And, it's all about everyone just getting to the end goal. And if you want it all your own way all the time, you are probably going to find it a lot harder process, both financially, emotionally, and all of that, because it can be a bit of a roller coaster, especially if you're looking to buy and sell all at the same time. So I think you're right, playing fair just makes the process easier for everyone overall.
So a couple of things here then, just to sort of finalize really, is if that has prompted any questions, please reach out to us. You can put a comment in the bottom box there and put your name on it for us. If you want to reach out to us outside of the show tonight, again, our emails have been scrolling along the bottom of the page. Go either directly to Jenny, come over to me as well. So you can always sort of reach out for help that way. If you've enjoyed today's show, again, please hit us with a like. That also helps us as well. But the other thing as well is, as an offer as an agent, regardless if you're on the market with any other estate agent, my sole purpose of me setting up was to help people. So if you're on the market with somebody else, but you want some independent advice without the sales head on, knocking another agent, etc., and what's been happening, the guide in today should help people. But if you'd like me to go a little bit of a deeper dive into it and have a look at it with you, again, please reach out to me, ping your details over. I'll be more than happy to have a look at something for you and see if I can help you sell. More than happy to offer that service as well to anybody.
Perfect. That's great to hear, Mike. Thanks for that.
Okay, so thanks again for watching, everybody. Really appreciate your time. We'll be back same time, same place next week at 7 o'clock on Tuesday evening for the Lincoln Property and Mortgage Show. We'll look forward to seeing you all again next week.